Okay, we're back on Heat 5 for this ARCA Season Cup Championship, because I see we can, at least I think so. Did some tests and things saved, so I'm fairly confident that we will be able to come back and pick up where we left off, unlike the last 3 years where it would never save a career or single season or anything like that. This is I guess the newest version has just made a couple changes to it, and it's really fast, but it does a couple things that I'm not exactly happy with. I have the the pro whatever settings on, so this is about an auto hard, so this is about the fastest that these things get, I think. I got whatever I could set it for, I set it on the highest. Yeah, see that right there, that's a little, and I think we dealt with this at the beginning of the 24 season, but it was exacerbated in the next gen car. But we had speed weeks. We had 4 or 5 races to figure it out, and we sorted it. We're 4 wide. That's why they knock you down out of the thing. So basically what it is like, it feels like the front end is not 100% planted, but I think it changes when the tire pressures come up. But I gotta figure out how to fix that. So this is ARCA series, old Cup cars, you know. You're not going to see much difference at Daytona. I think we have 2 events at Daytona in this thing. I don't know. I think it was exhibition race and whatever, but everything is for points. So we're just a little not as stable as I normally am. Wide again. Also probably be better out of traffic. It's pretty sporty. Middle off. Turns to the left too much, too fast. Try to add some wedge. pretty simple fix. With the guy next to me, and not a guy close up under my bumper, man, I'm like 5 miles an hour slower off the turn. See, I'm only going so slow off the turn because look how far back they are. I mean, it doesn't seem like a lot, but you know, in an online race, you know, you got the guy who's like 2 feet off your rear bumper if he's not, you know, pushing you down the straightaways. .44.6 leading AI is excellent. Part of the reason why they're not on my bumper is because I'm that much faster. Remember, these guys are running 310 gears in 4th gear, so it's 310 true, and I'm not. I'm running a lot higher gear. They hit the speeds I'm hitting. Like if you get slowed down a lot, yeah, you have no acceleration, you know, so it doesn't mean you can't let off the gas and do stuff, especially when you're in the draft. But when you're out front, basically just, you know, put a rock over your foot or your left foot over your right foot and just, you know, hold it wide open the whole way. Gas mileage wise, it should be good. Typically get 2 miles, 2 laps better gas mileage. Running out front, full speed, it just picks up. I know I don't have a super high gear. I don't have a super low gear. Good lap. I mean, this setup is the fastest setup I have, the race setup. It's qualified, when we did qualifying like that, at 44.5 race setup. That was an older derivation of it. It was maybe a little faster now or whatever. But you don't qualify the same way you race, you know. If you can, you know, hit your qualifying speeds in race, that's great. But 44.6, 44.7, you know, with a loose draft like this, that's great. It's moving around. The whatever the issue affects the steering, and everything else looks good, but it is wearing like a little bit more on the right than it normally does. So I'm hoping maybe just a couple pieces of wedge stabilize that. Otherwise, I have to do some other stuff because I did do something which I'm not exactly sure. I can't really tell in the AI unless I run a lot of AI races. Leading out front, of course. It's a monster back in the pack, right? But if you run a lot of AI races and you run out front like this, and before you get to the end of the race or end of the stage, there's no stages in this, then you run enough of them you can see. One of the things I look at is hitting 205 into the turn. That's okay. Not too long ago, that was only 203. 200 out of the turn. The faster you're out of the turn, the faster you're into the next turn, the faster you're out of the next turn, etc. 203. Can't explain that. So it kind of says to me that a little bit sharper turn 2, we're still not hitting it right. Because we're faster down the front stretch than we are down the back stretch. We're both times, okay, we're 203. It's got to be these idiots, because they're double file halfway through and whatnot. They're 199. But you got to keep it really steady, and the way the setup is now, it's a little bit harder to keep it steady. So I'm not 100% sure what we're seeing here is, accurate. It's more driver issue than, with the steering than anything. $205. We're trying to get that manageable and consistent and convenient. Now, what did I just say? You want, the easiest way to hit the fastest speed. Driving it, as I'm driving on the highway, is, the goal, and then to be fast. Keeping it in a certain part of the track relative to the yellow line. Figuring out where the fastest way around is. I think I'm tight in the tri-oval. It's too tight in the tri-oval. It might be too tight off. It's a little unstable. So what do I do with in-race adjustments? I don't know. I put the tape up. Probably 2 clicks of tape we can put on it. You don't want to be hit 250. You want to be 240 something with the tape at your, for your fastest. Because the way the game works, if you hit 250 oil temp, then you start losing horsepower. And, 1 horsepower at Daytona or Talladega when you're only running like 450. In these packages is a lot. Okay, we're back up. Almost 206, that's good. And as you burn the fuel off, it's going to pick up a little speed naturally. good lap. That 42.8 was for the Pro League. The first year at Heat 5, which was the last season, full season they ran. But I was, helping some of them out doing Daytona qualifying, because you needed, if you did it by yourself, you were slow as hell. Definitely in the 44s. But the way they did the qualifying back then is they would 45s. I mean, they would let you run in a group, and whatever your time was, it didn't matter. You could have 20 guys. But we found out that about 5 guys, 5, 6 guys, 7 guys that could stick together, that knew how to draft and such. They thought I knew what I was doing, and I know we hit some really fast runs, and with me in the lead a couple times. But I followed, but they were open, it just take turns and seeing who can lead the pack the fastest. And I wasn't really serious about running it for various reasons. But I was like, well, let's see what we can do, And I know a few of the tracks I got down into between 25 and 30. You knew you had something if you got in the top 100, and like you could fine tune that and stuff. But then they kind of changed the way you qualified. It wasn't just time anymore. It was time, but it was like I remember Darlington, we did that one. I was helping somebody try to get in, and you had to run 50 or something laps times 3, whatever it was. You basically had pit. So now you had a pit, but you had maybe a 10-lap window to figure out where the best spot to pit was, and you were a little short on gas, so it, like you could do like 46 laps or something. So it was like the guys that made it in, and I'm sure a lot of the guys who just missed it, kind of figured out that if you ran full out one run and then run, like 4th gear the second run or part of the second run, and they knew the split. Like if it was 30 laps, they knew like if you ran 16 laps in 4th, you can make it to the end with a great speed. So it wasn't just about speed, and that was a little weird. And I didn't, I was running at that time. I was running probably 4 or 5 races a week, and I wasn't going to sit there, and no one's going to tell you. I wasn't going to sit there and figure out, okay, if I run 23 laps full out, and then I run 27 laps, and pit at 23 laps, and then I run, 15 laps in 4th gear, and then throw it into 3rd, I'm going to have a really fast time for qualifying. I'm like, because it was, the total time, whatever it was, 12 minutes, 15 minutes. When it got like that, that kind of lost interest, because I was more interested in going full out, getting the car as fast as I can get it, and then, making it live for a full fuel run, because I had learned a lot helping those guys out, the year before, and I really appreciated, their trust. And for those of you who didn't know, the Pro League was a NASCAR sponsored Heat 5, Heat 4, Heat 3, Heat 4, Heat 5 kind of deal, where like on Heat 3 they had a full season, Heat 4 they had a full season, like I don't know what it was, 16 races or whatever. And then after that, they had winter and summer series, I think for 2 years on Heat 4 and 5. You had like 4 race events, kind of thing. I don't remember how, because I was only on the periphery of it. I'd watch the events and stuff, and just root for my guys, and it's pretty cool and stuff. But those are basically generally the fastest, best guys that made it. The smartest guys with setups, the smartest guys with strategy, and unfortunately, I guess the people that were managing it maybe didn't realize that like every race came down to gas mileage. So there was a lot of great racing, but most of the field did not want to caution, and they had a lot of caution, and it kind of changed strategy and changed everything up. But most of those races actually had ended up with great finishes, but it was a little frustrating for the guys involved. I know I watched my good buddy, was rooting the most for, and his buddy. Two of my good buddies just get knocked out of the way when they probably had the best car to win, or best position to win, and, stuff like that. I mean, when you come down to it, no matter how old you are, when you're racing, and that was for money. I remember one of the seasons it was like $1,000 per race win, kind of thing. There was a points fund, so I mean, I guess, $1,000 from winning on a video game, that was real important to some people, and tempers flared. And I watched one of my guys almost win a road course race, taken out by the second place guy. Wow. And yeah, there was a championship, and I think one of the years, I think he won like 20 grand for the championship, but again, not 100% sure, but it was a big deal. I mean, if you're like, in high school, and you're like, I can win 20 grand playing a video game, so like, you were like all there. There were thousands of people trying to get in, of all types, and there's nothing wrong with that. I looking at that, and I always thought what you needed was, like in real life, you need to really kill that, in a sense, to really own it. Having different level leagues, where you do it by age, for the younger guys, or speed or whatever. Put 20 guys that run, pretty much run the same speeds. Put them, you have the A series, you got the B series, and you got the C series. Maybe a D series, and that probably, to my mind, would have been more successful. I mean, not that they weren't. It's just there weren't. I don't know. There weren't enough of them, and I think enough spectator interest. So some of them made FX1 and as broadcasts, hour-long broadcasts, and they were done really well. I can't fault the production or anything. Top-notch guys, who knew the game and racing, reporting on it. I mean, it was really cool to see that, but you needed more of it, because they say there's about 300,000 of us that are the hardcore racers, like what you see here on my channel, and then there's like maybe 2 million that are like a lot of laps a race is enough for them racing with their buddies, and that's nothing wrong with that. That's that's fun. We do that sometimes, but a lot for the 300,000 or whatever it is. We want more. We want more realism. We want more structure. We want more you know, you got to do this, but you can't do that. We want that. You know, we want a bigger challenge, you know, kind of thing. Not that, you know, getting through the field at Talladega on an open lobby isn't a challenge enough without getting killed. But I think you guys know, you know what I'm talking about. So that's why we do what we do. That's why I do what I do. I want to be faster. But I also realize, you know, not that I'm the fastest guy or nothing, but if I'm the only one that can hold the line, I'm not having fun. And if I can help any of you guys get faster, better, whatever, you know, have more fun, then, you know, what I'm doing is a success. And that's it. I love racing. I do it anyway. I don't need a YouTube channel. I don't need online. I don't need any of that stuff. You know, I do it anyway. I've been doing it since, you know, racing since 89, 90, somewhere in there. And, you know, computer sim racing. We call it sim racing. This is sim racing, even if people think it's just a video game. I mean, what we called sim racing in 1989, yeah, I can't imagine what you guys would call it today, but we had nothing else. And a lot of work went into, you know, making, you know, those games as realistic as possible, even though the programming and the computers just were not able to handle those first games until the mid-90s. And yeah, I'm a PC guy. That's where I come from. And also, we're cheap. We bought those games, like, technically, yeah, I could have bought the second game I ever bought, NASCAR Racing 2, which was basically the basis for like the next 5, 6 games, years of games. And I could take that and I can update it myself. I can paint my own cars, recreating each season, main cars accurately. And it was easier back then because you had, you know, if you had 40 cars running, you had 35 cars that ran the same damn paint scheme every week. So you'd only have to have, you know, one set, 3 laps to go. And I figured it had a great paint booth. It was by pixel. Graphics weren't top-notch. They were top-notch for the day, but they weren't, you know, top-notch. And that's some of the things that changed before iRacing came out. Because the guys that made those games that I played, they stopped making them, and they went and they formed iRacing. So iRacing is really cool. They changed some things that I don't particularly care for, and I get the system that they have in place. I'm not a big fan of it. I am a fan of it, but not 100%. I was on iRacing for a few years. Mainly, I just got wrecked a lot, you know, regardless of what the thing is. But today, they have a whole structured series of leagues that are moderated, where you basically can't wreck people, contact is limited. So basically, you get to concentrate on running laps and getting better, which is good, if not real boring for somebody like me, right? I mean, I can get in there and I can, you know, squeeze through holes that maybe a lot of people, you know, would paint in real life and stuff. And I do it in real life too. White flag. Because this is me. But, you know, like, I'll tell you about this. You know, if Mystic, you're listening. It's not for you, but I don't do too well at road courses. Because I'm not a road course racer. I don't have the feel in a sim that I really need to, you know, tackle a road course like I would like in real life. And I've been on road courses. And that's me. So there's a bit of a disconnect. So I basically realized we brought the first race home. What a surprise. I know. I realized that I have to have probably a better setup than everybody else. you know, running the same track to be able to, if it was real life, it'd be top 10, but we only got like 15 guys running, maybe 20 guys. So, you know, top 5 is realistic to keep you in the hunt for the championship, getting in the playoffs, you know, all that good stuff. So you really, if you're running a league, you really want to be top 5. You know, if all you can be is top 10, then great. And because, you know, the progression is, you know, top 20, top 15, top 10, top 5. When you get in the top 5, now usually you become a threat to win the race. Anyway, so I worked out this really fast setup for me at Road America, and I was very happy with it. We went in to race it, and I felt like total garbage that night, which of course did not help anything. And I was just in the carousel there. That's that long flat right-hander that leads to the back end of the track. Yeah, we were a 4-lane. And I wasn't 100%, so I was trying to make up a little time. And I noticed you can make up time there. I mean, most guys, I guess, run through there about 100. Let's say the Cup car, 100, 105, you know, and then they get to a certain point and then they accelerate off right, you know, and you shoot down that short chute like a rocket onto that big sweeping backstretch area. But I noticed I can get up to about 115, 120 through there. And being that I know we had at least, I don't know, I guess 2 road course aces, one who was just amazing. I was like, the only way I can get a top 5 is if I push it. And admittedly, I was not 100%, and probably shouldn't have been racing. But I probably looked all sorts of out of control. And, you know, a series of events happened, some, you know, instigated by Mystic, and killed my car. And one thing I noticed was very weirdly, when I got damage on this particular setup, it made the braking kind of like go completely away, and I never experienced that before. But I never had such a fast road course setup, so I don't know if the dynamics are different, if they factor like at a short track, you know, on front end damage, brake ducts, you know, being able to cool the brakes enough so that they still work. I don't know. I have no idea. But I couldn't brake. I hit the brake, the car wouldn't brake. Because I had heavy rear end, front end damage, and ended up getting into a couple of guys at different points in the race. But I think the main was at the end of the race. And I'm talking through all the time, and I'm like, I don't understand what's going on. And I wasn't 100%, so I kind of like, you know, figured I'd probably just miss something that I'll watch back in replays and stuff. But I couldn't figure it out. The best I can tell you is when I got damaged, the brakes wouldn't work. I mean, they would work, but they wouldn't work like they did. And part of the beauty of a road course setup, like our ace road course guy would say, is like braking. You know, the later you can brake and still make the corner without being out of control, the faster you're gonna make the lap. So, and I had the thing nailed in that respect, so I got damaged. You know, the first time I didn't have a lot of damage. I just had little nose damage, and I punted this guy. It was a turn 2. He's a good guy, and I'm like, I was probably much more shocked than anybody except for him. And I'm like, oh shit, you know, you hate when things like that happen, but I guess that factored into it. I guess we don't take, you know, car damage into effect. It's all us, you know, kind of thing. And that, you know, whatever, that's fine. But I really was at a loss, you know, for that, and I ended up getting penalized for that and a couple other things, because ended up getting, you know, basically wrecked at the end of the race a couple times. I recovered one. I was like in the top 5 going down into the bottom of the hill there, and Road America, and got wrecked at the top of the hill. That was it. That was all the damage. You know, I got nosed into that outside wall. Like, I was the only one. There was like 3 of us involved, and I wasn't the instigator. I didn't wreck anybody, and you know, just got nailed, and it was a raw deal. And then I yelled and screamed about it. For me, moderate cursing, but yeah, that got me a penalty. And rough driving penalty and whatnot. And I didn't agree with it. I still don't. But, you know, whatever. I guess it's better to wreck somebody and say, oh, I'm sorry, than I don't know what the hell happened there. Which is, you know, truth or lie. I don't know. But I always try to race clean. I always try not to use my bumper, not to use my door, not to use, you know, all those little things. And as you see here, if I make contact, it's usually my car's not handling right and I'm trying to do something that I probably wouldn't normally try with live people, but this is not live people, so I can try it and I can see, because I can learn more. I figure out how to you know, handle the car a certain way, you know, to pass somebody. I get like that in a race. I don't risk it. You know, if we're coming down to the end of the race and it's like the difference between, you know, winning and 2nd place or 6th place and 5th place, yeah, I'll try it then, but I won't try it, you know, in the middle of the race or even for a stage win. I'll just let it go and work on my car to try and, you know, fix whatever issue I'm having. But I also realized from my foray into league racing, I'm like pretty much one of the few that even thinks like that. Which doesn't mean you shouldn't. It just means that, you know, you end up being very lonely in situations like that. So, yeah. Anyway, so thank you for watching our first Heat 5 ARCA Cup Series race, which I will be, you know, sprinkling in between the career mode. And if this pans out, if this ARCA season in Heat 5 pans out and it saves and everything is good, then I will switch career mode over to Heat 5 in the future. So, once again, thank you for watching. Please like, share, subscribe, comment, ask me questions, please, anything. And we will see you here next time.